question is more appropriate. If I asked it to you, what's the difference between writing for like the animated show versus the comic books that came out?
The comic books are kind of fun just because they happen so fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite part about the comic books is that you write the adventure and like 3 months later it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main difference. I try to like
3 years.
yeah, instead of kind of like, when's it gonna come out? Like I'm worse than the fans. So it's like, when is the show gonna be on? But we try to, we try to keep it in the spirit of the show and keep all the characters, everybody's the same, but there's no limitations in terms of like how much Voltron can be in the comic books and what kind of monsters he can fight or like where it can go. It's like there's no production issues at all. It's like you're just gonna have somebody draw this, so you can fight a giant monster every single issue, which is kind of what we like.
So one of the things that, by the end of season 2, every one of the paladins has connected with their line enough that they've unlocked the special power. Finally Shiro got the wings on the Black Lion, and then Shiro's obviously somewhere else, wherever he is. But are we going to see? Obviously, the paladins now can go. There's not that break between them and the lions. Kind of where can they go from here now that they aren't trying to bond with their lions so much that they need to get that secondary bond? Where can we go from there?
Well, I mean, the bonds can become closer. Who knows what the future holds for our team? Shiro.
Well, you do.
See? This is more of a rhetorical question.
Sorry. I take this too literally. It's no problem for me.
So I mean, there's plenty more for them to unlock, emotionally and intellectually as they travel around, and we'll see who kind of steps up. And I mean, this is a super vague answer. I can't really say that much.
You know what they told us to do? We're instructed to be vague. So
Well,
it's
that's what I
nothing
think about
personal.
when I think about like the bond with the lions is that it's kind of like bonding with people. Is your bond can always grow stronger throughout your entire life, and I feel like it's the same with the lions. So that just because we've bonded twice doesn't mean that there's nowhere to go.
Right.
There's only up to go from here.
As a quick follow-up question, do you think the bond can be, obviously with Zarkon the bond was broken with the Black Lion, so do you think the bond can be damaged if they betray their lion a little
Oh,
bit?
absolutely.
So that can, it's a full relationship.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's, I think, cool about the Voltron Lions is that they have this kind of spiritual force that, the love you take is equal to the love you make. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I was going to say too, not to make it even more, take this point and hammer it even further, but just like Bex was saying, just because you form a relationship with someone doesn't mean someone shows you all of them immediately, right? I'm saying basically the same thing, but there are nuances to every relationship.
I like what you said.
Yeah, there are many things that when you get more comfortable, you start farting around your partner. I'm using that as an example. It's not literally what we do, but think of it like
She's wearing a corset.
Season 3 is going to be full of flash. We're talking a lot about farts, aren't we?
That happened in an episode where it was like everything was quiet and Lance was like, what's that sound?
Oh, no, gosh.
Well, that's he's always been comfortable.
Yeah, he got there a lot quicker.
What I'm really interested in terms of voice acting is what was fun for you to discover with your characters as you're sort of progressing through this narrative, and what are some interesting things what are some of your favorite things that you got to play?
I really liked the first episode of season 2 and how really Pidge the whole first season is like family, family, family. You guys are weird. I'll work with you, but family, family, family. And then she has that realization that these have become her people, and that kind of catapulted her into community growth rather than individual growth, which I think has been cool to kind of play with all season.
Yeah, I really sort of enjoyed across the board just the new depths that we get to sort of, and also the fact that it's not just getting to know the characters in like a regular scenario. Like we're all just going to school and hanging out and getting to know each other in the cafeteria. You're getting to know each other while you're defending the universe, So there's a lot of stakes involved, same thing. You know, a lot of things come to light when you are put to the test like that. And I think that that's what happens predominantly in season 2 is that we see in season 1 that a lot of these characters are like, so especially for Hunk. Just for example, this character Hunk, who was kind of a bit of a mess, you know, in the beginning and scaredy cat, and he was basically the cringer of Voltron. And then he became a little more sure-footed, and that happens kind of, even though it might not be as pronounced for everybody, all of the Paladins in season 2 really started to be like, all right, I think I understand just what I might be capable of.
In episode 2, you threw up again. That was the first time that happened in so long.
Yeah.
He's still the same guy.
Yeah.
There's still a foundation there that will never change.
There's something churning inside.
Yeah.
You get these progression, you get the progression.
Yeah.
I think
You puke less.
Yeah.
a lot less. Let's be fair.
A lot
I think my favorite thing to watch was Keith. I think everyone of that. Well, watching him really struggle internally, which was so well written and crafted, and then how it manifests with the testing, the physical testing, and with the Blade of Marmora and everything. It's just like it's almost like becoming a superhero, which is my favorite part of any superhero franchise. Is the first movie, which is why the sequels always suck, because all you want to do is watch that person become a superhero. So. Although I'm not saying that will apply, but that's the most exciting part is watching him.
You always discover something.
Yeah. We have 5 superheroes. Everyone's always progressing.
We'll never run out of material.
Never, ever.
We have 5 superheroes plus a badass princess.
Yeah.
And then there's Corinne. Just Corinne.
He's a super being. Just a super being.
Actually, I was about to ask, like, what are your favorite scenes from season 2?
What the hell are you calling those things?
Murder flukes.
Murder flukes.
So I know they're trash nebula caterpillars, but to me they are
So cute.
Super cute.
That was
I love
maybe
that.
maybe my favorite moment in the whole season was just when you see their eyes.
Yeah.
And they came out and it was just like, I think everybody just had that universal kind of like, oh! My kids were like, I want one, you know. I was like,
I
me
had
too.
this little image in my head of Pidge like hiding 5 of them.
Yeah.
I
I can't believe she didn't see
Yeah.
anybody. Although
I'm
Pidge
sure
wouldn't.
she did.
Yeah.
I'm sure she did somehow.
You got their contact info. You got their contact info, yeah.
You
They're
just have to
somewhere in the
email
castle.
every once in a while.
You just text.
Yeah,
You just
that's
stay up
all.
late night texting. What you doing?
What's up, murder flukes?
Space murdering?
Well, we learned last year at Wondercon that Pidge is a hoarder, so
Yeah.
Right.
never know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the Council of Lions is a big ship. Who knows what's in
Yeah.
there?
There are areas we haven't explored.
That's right.
We barely found out there was a pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
the
Upside
roof.
down pool. Yeah.
I don't know the physics of that. How do the Altaians do that?
Swim upside down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they get there?
Super beings.
They can
Totally
grow.
do.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Who knows what they
Go
can do?
ahead, keep it.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know. We don't know everything. Another awesome moment that I thought was really sort of like it again hit me over and over again. Just how like funny that was. I talked about this before. Was the Belly of the Weblum episode where I was like, once we got shat out or farted out or whatever, I was like, all right, we're free. And then I was like, wait a second, like wind that back in my head. The whole plan was to go into a creature in order to get its like gas going,
Yeah.
so that we
fart
could
jokes are just
escape
going.
via the fart, the fart path is the path we chose to take, and it just like kept hitting me over and over. That's so funny. It's so clever that like there was never a good sort of exit strategy. It was always out the butt, man. Out the
There's
butt.
only one exit.
There's only one way to get out.
Yeah. That was a cool one because, you know, we had Hunk and Karan go get the crystal from the Balmira, and they're talking about Hunk. No, when you go in the and
You mentioned the friggin' Weblum.
yeah, that's right. And it's
I
like,
noticed that
it's not the
watching
hardest
it through
thing.
the
It's
second
like,
time.
getting sculpted right out of a Weblum's, stomach is the hardest thing.
That's right,
And then
that's right.
like we got to go see that later.
That's something that I freaking love about the show is that they don't just introduce something and then throw it away. They pay it off eventually.
We have limited ideas. We have to use them again and again.
So cool.
And the bonding between Hunk and Keith was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. My other favorite part, Galver Keith.
Galbraith is better.
when Karan is
turn
in
Galra.
his thinks he's gonna fly the line.
Yeah. Oh.
Karan's in
yeah.
And he's like, oh, he chose
Was
it.
he wearing Alfor's suit?
I think it's a suit that he made. Is the way I interpreted this. It's
It looked like
this
one
is
of the
a
old
Karan
suits,
that's
yeah.
like
Like when he's like talking
his
about
paladin
following
cosplay.
Well,
steps.
steps.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
did you just
yeah.
steal the man's suit? Did you steal your dead kid?
Hieronymus Wimbledon Smythe.
We have this phone now.
Yeah.
His name is Hieronymus Wimbledon Smile.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the things I've noticed, especially between Pidge and Hunk, is that they seem much more the ambassadors. They always are very good at getting the aliens and whatever planet they're on to really trust them and like them.
Everybody likes
Pidge,
Hunk.
Pidge through technology, and Hunk is just very personable.
Yeah.
Valmera, and when they were in the mall,
Yes.
I mean, he got himself out of that by cooking
Correct.
cooking with love.
Chef to the universe.
Food is the window to the
Yeah,
heart.
can you talk about, because compared to Lance, who kind of stumbles through his ways,
Right.
trying to be suave but failing, and Keith and Shiro being a little bit more hard about
Yeah.
everything. You talk about kind of being the softer side of the paladin.
Oh yeah, I love that about Hunk and Pidge, but I'll speak on my own behalf here. The Hunk is like, I think what we were talking about earlier, where he's like discovering that he can be really like, you know, kind of tough, and he's got, you know, he can actually trust himself in a situation. There may have been a moment where he still was kind of like, well, what about all this other stuff that I have? Like, why am I naturally kind of soft and wimpy and all that stuff? Just for me, anyway. And then that actually is something that really services him, as you say, with dealing with as a bit of an ambassador on the mermaid planet. What do we call that planet?
I call it Mermaid.
The mermaid planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, being soft. Become not soft. I don't want to say he's like a wimp, but being like approachable and likable and personable, which is something I can relate to because everybody likes me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is like that is a skill set. That's a real thing that he is learning to embrace too. And like, yeah, being an ambassador for Voltron is not too shabby.
Yeah. I think Hunk is very able to see the like multiple sides of a situation.
Yeah.
You know, he's the guy who like never forgets how crazy it is what they're doing, and is always able to put himself in someone else's shoes.
But I feel like it's preternatural for him. It's not like he walks into a room and he's like, I'm assessing out the
Right,
situation.
yeah.
He just sort of is like, that's his default. He's kind of like,
Yeah.
I want to make everybody at ease with food,
Right.
or I want to like, you know, I'm going to diffuse the situation because this is too tense. You know what I mean? It's not like he doesn't like plot or
Yeah.
machinate.
He doesn't have a hard power
Pidge
agenda.
communicates
Yeah.
with technology.
Yeah.
Like, Hunk communicates as a human being, and he communicates really well. And Pidge needs that kind of, that extra step, that step in between. And so when she meets the Okari, it's kind of like her new favorite thing.
Right.
Like, these are people I can actually talk to.
It's mathematics.
You need a people
It's the language of the universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She needs
It's
people to feel about
mathematical.
her.
That's right.